Chosen one, there is a powerful truth waiting to be uncovered, a divine secret that can unlock doors, transform your life, and bring you into alignment with the abundance that is already available to you. This truth is the power of prophetic vision, the ability to see beyond the natural into the spiritual realm and speak life into those areas of your life that seem empty, barren, or lacking. Prophetic vision is not about mere sight. It is about seeing through the eyes of faith, through the lens of divine possibility, and recognizing that there is no limitation in the kingdom of God. It is a divine perspective that allows you to see things as they are meant to be, not as they appear right now. Prophetic vision empowers you to look at an empty space and declare with confidence that it will be filled with God's provision, God's purpose, and God's abundance. Take a deep breath, chosen one, and feel the weight of this truth settle in your heart. You have the ability to speak life over your circumstances. You have the power to declare abundance where there seems to be lack. Just as God spoke the world into existence with His words, you too have been given the authority to speak into the void and call forth the manifestation of His promises. But before you can fully step into this power, you must first understand what prophetic vision truly is. It is not about seeing the world with natural eyes, but seeing it with the eyes of your spirit tuned to the frequency of God's truth. It is understanding that the world around you, with all its challenges and obstacles, is not the final say. God's word is the final authority over every area of your life. Let's take a moment to consider your own life, chosen one. Where are the empty spaces? Where are the areas that feel barren, that feel like they lack purpose, provision, or potential? Maybe it's in your finances, your relationships, or your health. Maybe it's in your career or your emotional state. Where do you feel like there is nothing, like your dreams are just out of reach? These are your empty spaces, the areas of your life where the prophetic vision of God can be spoken. Now, chosen one, I invite you to reflect on this. What would happen if you saw these empty spaces through the eyes of divine vision? What if instead of seeing them as hopeless, you saw them as opportunities for God to manifest His abundant provision? What if you looked at every barren place and declared with confidence that it would be filled with life, with purpose, and with divine abundance? This is the power of prophetic vision. It is the ability to speak into the void and trust that God will fill it. You see, in the kingdom of God, there is no such thing as lack. There is only abundance, and when you speak over the empty spaces in your life, you are simply aligning yourself with the truth that abundance is already present. You are speaking God's truth into reality. But here's where the challenge comes in. It requires faith to declare abundance over what looks like lack. It requires faith to look at your circumstances, see the emptiness, and still declare that God will fill it. The world will tell you that you need to see before you can believe, but God tells us to believe first. The key to unlocking abundance is to speak over the empty spaces before you see the change. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Hebrews 11:1. This is where prophetic vision begins. It begins with believing that God is faithful to fill every void. Take a moment now to speak over the empty spaces in your life. Declare abundance where you have seen lack. If your finances have been tight, speak over them and declare that God will provide all your needs according to His riches and glory. If your relationships are strained, speak over them and declare that God will bring healing and restoration. If you are feeling empty or uncertain in your career or health, speak over those areas and declare that God's provision is already on its way. This is not a simple wish or a fleeting hope. This is the prophetic declaration of God's truth into the atmosphere. You are not speaking out of a place of desperation, but out of a place of divine authority, trusting that God will fill every empty space in His time and in His way. You are aligning your words with God's promises, and when you speak His word over your life, it will not return void. Feel that power, chosen one. You are not just speaking words into the air, you are speaking life into your circumstances. Every word you speak is an act of faith, an act of trust, and an act of divine alignment. You are participating in God's creation. You are declaring His will over your life, and that will is one of abundance, provision, and fulfillment. This is the power of prophetic vision. It gives you the ability to speak over your empty spaces and trust that God will fill them. And as you declare this truth, you begin to see your life transform. The more you speak, the more you align yourself with the divine flow, and the more you will witness God's abundance manifest in every area of your life. Chosen one, as you walk forward, remember the power of your words. You have been given authority to speak life, to declare abundance, and to manifest the divine vision that God has placed in your heart. Speak over your empty spaces and trust that God will fill them, for His abundance is already on its way. 100. Awaiting, continue the next section with 1100 words. Continue the next section with 1100 words. Section 2, chosen one, now that you understand the power of prophetic vision and the authority you have to speak over the empty spaces in your life, it is time to dive deeper into the next step of manifesting divine abundance, declaring abundance over lack. The act of speaking abundance into your life is not merely about voicing words. It is about aligning your faith with God's promises and trusting that those words will bring transformation to every area of your life. This challenge is not an easy one. Recognizing lack can be painful. It can be difficult to acknowledge that there are places in your life where you feel like something is missing or unfulfilled. Whether it's in your finances, relationships, career, or even your spiritual life, the empty spaces can often feel overwhelming. You may feel like there's always something more you need, something that is just out of reach. But chosen one, here is the truth. God is in the business of filling those empty spaces. And to experience the fullness of His provision, you must first declare His truth over the lack that exists within you. Declaring abundance over lack requires a shift in perspective. It is about recognizing that God's abundance is not limited by your current circumstances. It is about trusting that the divine will provide for you regardless of what you see in the natural realm. The world may tell you that you are lacking, that you must chase after more to be fulfilled. But in God's kingdom, there is no such thing as lack. God provides everything you need spiritually, emotionally, and materially, but you must first speak it into existence. Imagine this. You are standing in the middle of a dry, barren field. This represents the areas in your life where you feel lack. Perhaps this field represents your financial struggles, strained relationships, unfulfilled career goals, or even your health. But the moment you speak, the moment you declare God's abundance over this field, the dry ground begins to shift. What was once empty and barren begins to sprout with new life. The seed of faith that you have planted in your heart through declaration begins to grow and bear fruit. That is the power of your words. When you speak over your circumstances, you are planting seeds that will eventually bring forth the harvest of God's provision. The challenge is to speak words of life over the areas that feel barren, to declare that God's provision is already on the way. Speak words of healing, restoration, and divine provision into your financial, emotional, and spiritual life. Take a moment now, chosen one, and think about the areas where you feel lack. Where have you been struggling? Where have you been waiting for a breakthrough? What parts of your life feel empty or in need of God's touch? These are your empty spaces, the places where the power of prophetic vision can be spoken into existence. Now speak over them. Declare that God is filling these areas with His abundance. Speak words of life over your finances. I declare that God will provide for me abundantly, that I will have more than enough to meet my needs. Speak over your relationships. I declare that healing and restoration are coming into my relationships, and that I will experience love, peace, and reconciliation. Speak over your career. I declare that opportunities are opening up for me and that I will walk in the fullness of my purpose. The key here is to speak with confidence and authority, knowing that your words are aligned with God's will for your life. God has already spoken His promises to you, the promises of provision, healing, and restoration. And now it is time for you to speak those promises into being. But this declaration isn't just about speaking words. It's about living in the confidence that God's abundance is already on its way. When you declare abundance over lack, you are not merely hoping for change, you are trusting that God is already at work in your life, fulfilling His promises. You are aligning your faith with what God is already doing. And the more you speak these declarations, the more you will see the manifestation of divine abundance in your life. There may be moments of doubt, chosen one. You may look at the circumstances around you and wonder if change is truly possible. But here's the truth: God's promises are not dependent on what you see with your natural eyes. They are not limited by your current situation. God is working behind the scenes even when you cannot see the full picture. Your declaration is simply the first step in allowing God's provision to be made manifest. As you speak words of abundance, continue to trust in God's timing. The manifestation of His promises may not come immediately, but that does not mean that they are not on their way. God's timing is perfect, and He knows exactly what you need and when you need it. Your role is to continue speaking faith-filled words, knowing that God is already at work on your behalf. Feel that truth, chosen one. God is faithful. He will never fail you. The abundance that you speak into existence will come to pass in His perfect timing. You are walking in the assurance that God's provision will be fulfilled, and you are inviting that provision into your life through your words. Now take a moment to reflect on what you've declared. Have you been speaking life over your circumstances? Have you been trusting in God's provision, knowing that He is at work in your life? If not, this is the moment to begin. Speak words of abundance over every area of your life and trust that God will fill your empty spaces with His divine provision. And know this, chosen one, your words are powerful. They are not just sounds in the air. They are declarations of God's truth. And as you speak, you are creating a reality where God's abundance flows freely in your life. Word count 1099. Awaiting, continue the next section with 1100 words. Continue the next section with 1100 words. Section 3, chosens. And 1. As you continue to speak life into the empty spaces of your life, something incredible begins to happen. You start to align your will with the divine flow of abundance. You may have noticed that when you begin declaring God's promises over your circumstances, there is a shift not only in the world around you, but also within you. The words you speak begin to reshape your heart, your mindset, and your reality. You are no longer just waiting for change. You are actively participating in the creation of the life God has promised you. This is the power of alignment. When you declare abundance over lack, you are aligning yourself with the divine vision God has for your life. You are saying, I believe in God's promises. I trust that His provision is abundant and that He will fill every empty space in my life. This alignment is key because when you align your words with God's will, the power of His divine purpose begins to unfold in your life in ways that you might not have expected. But here's the challenge, chosen one. It's easy to speak words of life when everything feels good, when things are flowing smoothly. But what happens when you face resistance, when the empty spaces feel like they are getting even emptier? What do you do when you declare abundance and it feels like nothing is changing? This is where faith must take root. It is one thing to declare abundance when everything is going well, but it is an entirely different thing to declare abundance when you can't see the change. It is in those moments of resistance that your prophetic declaration becomes the most powerful. It is in those moments when the world tells you to give up, to give in, to doubt, that your declaration becomes your strongest weapon. This is the test of your faith. Will you continue to speak life even when you don't see immediate results? Will you continue to declare that God's abundance is filling every empty space even when it feels like your prayers are unanswered? God is calling you to hold fast to your faith, to trust that His promises are true, regardless of what your circumstances may tell you. Take a moment to reflect on this, chosen one. What empty space are you currently facing? Maybe you've been praying for breakthrough in your finances, for restoration in a broken relationship, or for healing in your body. Have you been tempted to give up? Have you been discouraged because the answers haven't come yet? I want to remind you of something crucial. God's timing is perfect. Your declaration of abundance is not in vain. Even though you may not see the results immediately, the seeds you are planting will eventually bear fruit. Your words are powerful, and the moment you speak life over your circumstances, the process of transformation begins. In the Bible, we see this principle illustrated in the story of Abraham and Sarah. God promised them a child, but for years they saw no sign of that promise being fulfilled. Yet even when everything around them seemed impossible, they continued to hold on to God's word. Abraham declared that he was the father of many nations long before he saw the promise come to pass. He chose to believe in God's word even when his circumstances were the opposite of what God had promised. And in the end, God's promise came true. This story teaches us that faith is not about seeing immediate results. It is about continuing to believe and speak God's promises even when we don't understand the timing. Prophetic vision requires patience, and the deeper your faith, the more you will see the power of your words manifest in your life. God's abundance is already on its way, and your faith and your declarations are paving the way for its arrival. Now, chosen one, I invite you to dig deeper into your faith. Keep declaring abundance even when it feels like there is no evidence of change. Speak over your empty spaces as if they are already filled with God's provision. Declare that your finances are blessed, your relationships are restored, and your health is renewed. Speak life over the areas where you feel barren, and trust that God is working in ways you cannot yet see. Feel the strength of that declaration, chosen one. Your words are more than mere wishes. They are powerful forces of transformation. When you speak life, you are partnering with God to bring forth the divine reality that He has already promised. Your faith creates space for His will to be done in your life. And as you continue to speak abundance, don't just wait for things to change externally. Begin to allow the transformation to happen within you. Allow your mindset to shift from lack to abundance, from fear to faith, from uncertainty to confidence in God's provision. When you align your thoughts with your declarations, you create a powerful synergy that opens the floodgates of God's blessings. Take a deep breath now, chosen one, and declare this with me. I am walking in God's abundance. I trust in His provision, and I know that He will fill every empty space in my life. Feel the peace that comes with that declaration. Your faith is strong and your words are powerful. God is already at work in your life, and as you continue to speak life into your circumstances, you will witness His abundant provision unfold before you. Continue declaring abundance. Continue speaking life over every area of your life, knowing that you are aligning yourself with God's perfect plan. Your faith will bring forth the fruit of divine abundance. Word count 1099. Awaiting, continue the next section with 1100 words. Continue the next section with 1100 words, section 4, chosen one. As you continue to speak abundance over the empty spaces in your life, there is another key principle to understand: your words carry the power of creation. The ability to declare life over your circumstances is a gift that comes directly from the divine. You are made in the image of one, and just as God spoke the universe into existence, you too have the power to speak life into the void, to speak abundance where there seems to be lack. This is where the real transformation begins, when you realize the true power of your words. Your words are not merely sounds that fade into the air. They are seeds that take root and grow. What you speak over your life and circumstances will eventually manifest. The law of faith works hand in hand with the law of confession. When you align your words with the will of God, your declarations become the foundation for divine change. It is important, chosen one, to recognize that the words you speak are not just a passive exercise. They are active, living expressions of your belief. The moment you declare abundance over lack, you are partnering with the divine to bring forth God's promises. You are co-creating with the Creator. Your words are the brushstrokes that paint the picture of your reality. Speak abundance, and abundance will begin to form around you. Speak life, and life will begin to flow through your circumstances. Take a moment now and reflect on the words you speak daily. What are the declarations you make over yourself? What words do you speak over your life and the lives of those around you? Are they words of encouragement and faith, or are they words that speak of fear, lack, or doubt? What you speak shapes your reality. If you speak negativity, you will experience negative outcomes. But if you speak faith, you are opening the door to divine transformation. When you speak abundance, you are sowing seeds of prosperity, peace, and fulfillment. But this is not just a mental exercise. This is a spiritual law that governs the universe. Words are creative forces, and when you speak the promises of God, those words begin to form the very life that you are meant to live. You are speaking the divine will into your life, and in doing so, you are manifesting the abundant life that God has already ordained for you. Now, here is the challenge, chosen one. Do you believe in the power of your words? Do you trust that when you speak abundance into your life, God will fulfill His promises? The world may tell you that your words don't matter, that speaking something doesn't change anything. But God's word tells us something different. The tongue has the power of life and death, Proverbs 18:21. And what you speak will shape the direction of your life. Imagine this: you are standing at the edge of an empty field, a field that represents every area of your life where you feel lack or unfulfilled potential. This is your moment to speak over it. As you declare God's abundance over that empty field, you are planting seeds that will eventually bring forth a harvest. You may not see immediate results, but every time you speak, you are activating the divine laws of creation. Trust that God is at work behind the scenes, bringing forth His promises in His perfect timing. It is important to note that speaking abundance is not a one-time act. It is a continuous practice. You must consistently speak God's truth over your life, especially when doubt and fear try to creep in. Every day declare the promises of God over your finances, your relationships, your health, and your purpose. Your words are the vehicle through which God's will is made manifest on earth. Take a moment now, chosen one, and think about what areas of your life need prophetic declarations. Where do you see lack? Is it in your relationships, your career, your health, or your finances? These are the empty spaces, and as you speak over them, you are declaring that they will be filled with God's provision. Speak life into those areas. Declare that your relationships will be restored, your finances will flourish, your health will be renewed, and your purpose will be fulfilled. Speak over every area, knowing that your words are the key to manifesting divine abundance. The world may try to tell you that your words don't matter, but God says otherwise. Your words are powerful, and when you speak them in faith, they align with God's will and begin to transform your reality. You are not alone in this. As you speak, God is working behind the scenes, orchestrating the divine provision that will fill your empty spaces. Trust in His timing, trust in His plan, and continue to speak life over every area of your life. Feel the power of your words, chosen one. You are a co-creator with God, and every word you speak shapes your world. Speak abundance over every empty space. Speak life, speak healing, speak peace, and speak prosperity. God has given you the power to speak over your circumstances. Use that power wisely, knowing that your words will create the life you are destined to live. Now I invite you to make a declaration over your life. Speak with authority and faith. I declare that every area of my life is being filled with God's abundance. I speak life into my finances, my relationships, my health, and my purpose. I trust that God is providing everything I need, and I walk in the fullness of His provision. Feel the strength of those words. This is your prophetic vision in action. Speak with confidence, knowing that as you align your words with God's promises, His divine abundance will begin to manifest in your life. Word count 199. Awaiting, continue the next section with 1100 words. Continue the next section with 1100 words. Section 5, chosen one, now that you have declared abundance over the empty spaces in your life and have aligned your words with God's will, there is another powerful principle to consider: aligning your actions with your words. It is one thing to speak words of life and abundance, but it is another to act in faith, believing that the words you have spoken will manifest. True prophetic vision requires action. Think about it, chosen one. When you speak a word of prophecy, you are not simply waiting for the world to change around you. You are stepping into the very thing you have declared. Faith without works is dead, Os 2:26. If you declare that God is providing for your finances, but you do not take steps to manage your resources wisely, are you truly living in alignment with your declaration? If you speak healing over your body but neglect the necessary actions for restoration, are you fully embracing God's provision? The key to fully manifesting divine abundance is to step out in faith, to take the actions that align with the words you have spoken. When you declare that God's abundance is filling your life, it is not enough to simply sit back and wait for things to change. You must also take steps that align with God's vision for your life. Let's break this down. In your finances, if you have declared that God is providing for you, are you also practicing good stewardship? Are you budgeting, saving, and making wise financial decisions? When you trust that God will provide, you should also be diligent with what you already have. This is an act of faith, trusting that God will guide you in every decision and that He will bless the efforts you make toward managing your resources. In your relationships, if you have declared healing and restoration, Are you taking the steps to communicate openly, forgive, and seek reconciliation? Faith in God's promises requires action. If you speak healing over a broken relationship but never put in the effort to restore trust or communicate your feelings, how can you expect to see the manifestation of the healing you have declared? God is waiting for you to take those first steps of faith to act in alignment with your words. And as you do, you will witness His power at work in ways that bring about restoration. In your career or your purpose, if you've declared that God is opening doors for you, are you stepping out in faith by pursuing the opportunities He places before you? Are you applying yourself, learning and growing in your field? The opportunities may not appear in the form you expect, but when you take action, you are showing God that you are ready to receive. This act of trust and faith opens the way for divine opportunities to manifest. The truth is this, chosen one, God will never do for you what He has equipped you to do for yourself. He will provide the guidance, the wisdom, and the resources, but it is up to you to take action and walk in the abundance you have declared. You are a co-creator with God, and He is waiting for you to move in the direction of your prophetic declaration. So what steps are you taking, chosen one? What are the tangible actions you can take today to align your life with the abundance you have declared? Faith without works is incomplete, and God has given you the power to step into His promises, to walk in His provision, and to make choices that reflect the abundance you know is available to you. Take a moment to think about the areas of your life where you've been declaring abundance. Where do you need to take action? If you've been declaring healing over your body, perhaps it's time to commit to a healthy routine or seek medical advice. If you've been declaring that God is opening doors in your career, perhaps it's time to update your resume or take a course that will expand your skills. If you've been declaring abundance in your finances, perhaps it's time to start budgeting, saving, or investing wisely. The actions you take are an act of trust. By acting on your faith, you are showing God that you believe His promises are true and that you are willing to do the work that aligns with those promises. This is the faith that brings transformation. Chosen one, God is calling you to move, not in your own strength, but in the strength He provides. He is calling you to act in faith, knowing that every step you take is supported by His abundance. When you take these steps, you are not moving alone. God is right beside you, providing the guidance, the provision, and the grace you need to keep going. And as you act, you will begin to see the manifestation of your declarations unfold before you. Take a moment now and ask yourself, what step can I take today to align my actions with my declarations of abundance? What is one thing I can do right now to demonstrate my faith and trust in God's provision? It could be something small, something simple, but every action taken in faith opens the door for greater abundance to flow into your life. Feel that shift, chosen one. You are not just waiting for abundance to come to you. You are actively creating space for it. You are walking in alignment with the prophetic vision God has placed in your heart, and with every step you take, you are bringing that vision to life. You are a co-creator with God, and His abundance will follow you every step of the way. Trust in the process, trust in the timing, and most importantly, trust in the power of your actions to bring your declarations into reality. God is faithful, and as you walk in alignment with His will, you will see the manifestation of His abundant provision in every area of your life. Word count 199. Awaiting, continue the next section with 1100 words. Continue the next section with 1100 words. Section 6, chosen one, as you align your actions with the prophetic declarations you've made over your life, you will inevitably encounter the challenge of waiting. This is a crucial step in manifesting divine abundance, the waiting period. As you speak over your circumstances and act in faith, there will be times when you do not see immediate results. You may feel as though the abundance you've declared is slow to arrive or that the path ahead seems uncertain. This is where the true test of faith lies, in the waiting. The world tells us that we must see results immediately, that anything worth having should come quickly. But God's kingdom operates on a different principle, one where divine timing is perfect and the process is as important as the outcome. The waiting period is not a time of idleness. It is a time of refinement, preparation, and trust. It is in the waiting that your faith is tested and strengthened. Consider the story of the Israelites in the wilderness. After being freed from slavery in Egypt, they were promised a land flowing with milk and honey, yet they had to wait for decades before they were able to step into that promised land. During the waiting period, God didn't just leave them alone. He guided them, taught them, and prepared them for what was to come. Their waiting was part of their spiritual growth. They had to trust in God's timing, trust that He was leading them to something greater, even when it didn't make sense in the moment. The waiting is a divine process, chosen one. It's during this time that you are being prepared for the abundance you've declared. Just as a seed takes time to grow, your prophetic declarations take time to manifest fully in your life. The process is as necessary as the outcome. God is preparing you for what He has promised, refining your character, your heart, and your understanding of His provision. So how do you handle the waiting period? The temptation is often to give up or to grow frustrated when we don't see the immediate results of our faith-filled declarations. But in these moments, I encourage you to remember God's faithfulness. Remember that God's timing is perfect and He is always working behind the scenes even when you cannot see it. The waiting period is not wasted time. It is part of the process of becoming the person who can fully embrace the abundance that God has promised. Here's the challenge, chosen one. Can you trust God when you cannot see the full picture? Can you continue to speak abundance over your life when everything around you seems unchanged? Can you wait with expectation, knowing that God's promises are coming to fruition in His perfect time? During this waiting period, it is essential to maintain an attitude of gratitude. Instead of focusing on what is lacking, focus on what is already present in your life. Gratitude is a powerful tool that helps you stay in alignment with God's abundance. When you express gratitude, you are acknowledging God's provision even before the full manifestation of His promises. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you don't have to what you do have, and in doing so, it opens your heart to receive more. Let me ask you, chosen one, what can you be grateful for right now? Even in the waiting, even in the moments of uncertainty, what blessings can you celebrate? Maybe you have peace in your heart, love from your family, or a roof over your head. Perhaps you have health or a job or opportunities that are waiting to unfold. Gratitude keeps your heart open and positions you to receive more of God's abundant provision. It is a heart posture that aligns you with the divine flow. Additionally, this waiting period is a time to continue speaking life over your circumstances, even when you don't see the change immediately. Keep declaring the truth of God's promises, knowing that your words are powerful. You are planting seeds of faith, and those seeds will grow in God's timing. Even though the process may feel slow, trust that every word you speak is bringing you closer to the manifestation of God's abundance. Another key aspect of waiting is patience, the willingness to trust God even when you don't know how He will fulfill His promises. Patience is not passive, it is active trust. It means continuing to move forward in faith to keep declaring God's truth over your life, and to remain steady in your belief that He will fulfill what He has promised. Patience teaches you to rely on God and to wait with the confident assurance that His timing is perfect. Patience also means holding space for God's blessings to unfold. When we rush the process, we can miss out on the lessons and growth that come with waiting. Patience allows you to experience the full transformation that happens during the waiting period, preparing you to fully receive the abundance God is bringing into your life. Feel the truth of that, chosen one, Shuaimim. In your waiting, God is doing a work within you. As you continue to speak over your circumstances, as you continue to act in faith, and as you wait with patience, you are becoming the person who can fully embrace and steward the abundance that God has promised. God is shaping your character during this time, preparing you for what is to come. Trust the process. Now, chosen one, let's take a moment to reflect. Where are you in the waiting process? What areas of your life are you still waiting for God's promises to be fully realized? Can you embrace this time of waiting as part of your journey, trusting that God is working in you, even when you can't see the results yet? This is the time to keep declaring abundance, to keep moving forward with faith, and to trust God's perfect timing. Your waiting is not in vain. God's promises are coming, and He will bring them to pass. You are exactly where you need to be. Trust that in the waiting, you are being prepared to receive the full manifestation of His abundance. Count 1 from 100. Awaiting, continue the next section with 1100 words. Continue the next section with 1100 words. Section 7. Chosen one, as you continue to wait and trust in God's divine timing, there comes a moment when you must choose to walk in faith despite the unseen. This is a profound turning point on your journey toward manifesting divine abundance. The choice to believe that what you have declared will come to pass even when you can't yet see it. The world often teaches that seeing is believing, but God's kingdom operates on the opposite principle. Believing is seeing. As you've spoken words of abundance over your life, you may find yourself encountering moments of doubt. These moments are not signs of failure, they are part of the process. The challenge is not in the absence of doubts, but in how you respond to them. Will you allow your doubts to diminish your faith? Or will you hold on to your declaration and trust that God's promises are unfailing? Consider the story of the Israelites once again. When they were journeying through the wilderness, they encountered obstacles and moments of doubt. They struggled with impatience, fear, and uncertainty about God's promises. Yet even in those moments, God remained faithful. He never abandoned them, and He always provided for their needs. But the Israelites had to choose to believe that God was with them, even when they could not see the outcome. This is the core of walking in faith, choosing to believe when there is no evidence. You may not yet see the abundance you've declared in your life. You may still find yourself in a season of waiting, but chosen one, this does not mean that God is not at work. In fact, God is often doing His deepest work in you during these moments of waiting and uncertainty. He is shaping your character, building your trust, and preparing you to receive the abundance that is coming. The process is just as important as the result. The challenge, chosen one, is to choose to keep believing even when everything around you says otherwise. You may look at your finances and see lack. You may look at your relationships and see brokenness. You may look at your health and see struggle, but the truth is that God's abundance is already being poured out for you, and even when you cannot see it yet, it is already in motion. Faith is the bridge between the unseen and the seen. It is the assurance that what you declare with your words will be brought into reality by God's divine power. And when you choose to walk in faith, you are actively creating space for God's provision to flow into your life. This is where the choice to walk by faith becomes transformative. You are not just waiting for the manifestation of abundance, you are actively partnering with God to bring His promises into your reality. This is where your prophetic vision and your actions must align. Your faith becomes the catalyst for change, and your trust in God's perfect plan becomes the foundation upon which the manifestation of abundance is built. As you walk by faith, you must hold fast to the truth. God's timing is always perfect, and His promises will never fail. It may feel like nothing is changing, but chosen one, do not be swayed by what you see in the natural. The spiritual realm is at work aligning things on your behalf. Trust that God is orchestrating every detail of your life, and in due time, the abundance you have declared will become visible. Faith requires persistence, chosen one. It is not a one-time declaration. It is a daily choice to trust God, to speak His promises, and to walk in alignment with His divine purpose. Every day, you must choose to walk in faith, trusting that God is fulfilling His promises, even when you cannot see the end result yet. This is the moment, chosen one, to strengthen your resolve. Every doubt you face is an opportunity to build your faith. Every moment of waiting is an opportunity to trust in God's goodness and His perfect plan. The more you trust, the more you grow in your ability to receive God's abundance. Faith is like a muscle. It grows stronger with each trial, each declaration, and each act of trust. Take a moment now, chosen one, and reflect on the areas where doubt has crept in. Perhaps there are places in your life where you've been discouraged because you haven't seen the breakthrough you were hoping for. Perhaps you've been waiting for healing, for restoration, for financial provision, or for emotional peace, and you're starting to feel like it might never come. I want to encourage you right now to let go of that doubt. Release the fear that says your breakthrough is impossible. Trust in God's timing and know that He is working on your behalf even when you can't see the full picture. Now I want you to take a step of faith. Speak life into those areas of doubt. Declare that God is faithful and that His promises will not fail. Speak over your circumstances as if they have already changed, trusting that the moment you declare abundance, it begins to manifest in the spiritual realm. Even when your eyes cannot yet see it, trust that the process is already unfolding. Feel that shift in your spirit, chosen one. You are not waiting passively. You are actively partnering with God. Your faith is the key that unlocks the manifestation of His promises. When you choose to trust, you are creating space for the divine provision to flow freely into your life. In this moment, chosen one, choose to declare, I trust in God's timing. I believe that His promises are already being fulfilled in my life. I walk by faith, not by sight. Feel the strength of those words as they settle in your spirit. You are walking by faith, and in doing so, you are aligning yourself with God's abundant provision. Your faith is creating the path for His promises to come to fruition. Count. Awaiting, continue the next section with 1100 words. Continue in the next section with 1100 words. Section 8. Chosen one, as you continue to walk in faith and speak abundance over the empty spaces in your life, there is one final truth to embrace: living in the overflow of divine abundance. This is the culmination of all the steps you have taken thus far: the prophetic vision, the declarations, the faith-filled actions, and the waiting. This is the moment when God's promises begin to manifest in your life in a tangible, overflowing way. God does not just want to provide for you in small, limited measures. He desires to pour out His abundance on you until it overflows. In the Bible, we are reminded that God is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine according to his power that is at work within us, Ephesians 3:20. Abundance is not just about having enough for today, it is about living in the overflow of God's provision. When you step into the fullness of what God has for you, you will find that there is more than enough to meet your needs and to bless others around you. Imagine for a moment chosen one standing under an open heaven. The blessings of God are being poured out over you so abundant that they cannot be contained. There is no limit to what God can do in your life. He is not a God of scarcity. He is the God of abundance, the one who spoke the universe into existence, who fed the multitudes with a few loaves and fishes, and who turned water into wine. He is more than capable of providing for you in ways you cannot even imagine. When you live in the overflow of God's abundance, you begin to realize that God's blessings are meant to be shared. They are not just for you to keep, but to flow through you to others. You are a conduit of his provision, a vessel through which his love, grace, and abundance flow to the world around you. When you embrace this truth, you stop viewing your resources as limited and start seeing them as part of the infinite supply that God has for you and those around you. This overflow of divine abundance is not just about material wealth. It encompasses every area of your life. It is peace that fills your heart, joy that overflows into your relationships, love that touches everyone you meet, and purpose that fuels your every action. When you step into God's abundance, you begin to experience life in a way that is fulfilling, purposeful, and joyful. You no longer need to strive for more because you are living in the fullness of what God has already provided. But chosen one, this shift requires a change in perspective. You must stop seeing yourself as someone in lack and start seeing yourself as someone overflowing with God's goodness. Your identity is not defined by what you have or don't have. It is defined by who you are in Christ. You are a child of the Most High God, and he has given you everything you need to live a victorious life. When you understand this, you begin to realize that there is nothing in this world that can truly take away your abundance. The overflow is the natural result of living in alignment with God's will, of trusting his provision, of declaring abundance, and of stepping out in faith. It is not something you can force. It is something that happens naturally when you align yourself with God's plan for your life. As you trust him, speak his promises, and act in faith, you are positioning yourself to receive the overflow of his blessings. Think about the ways in which God has already provided for you. Look at the blessings that are already in your life, the relationships, the opportunities, the gifts, the talents, the provisions. These are all signs of the abundant life God has given you. Now, as you continue to speak abundance over every area of your life, you will begin to experience more and more of God's overflow. The more you trust, the more you give, the more you believe, the more you will receive. This overflow is not just for you to hoard. It is for you to share with the world. When you live in abundance, you become a channel of God's blessings to others. The more you give, the more God will continue to pour into your life, and as he pours into you, you pour out into others. It is a cycle of blessing that grows and multiplies. Now, chosen one, I want to invite you to reflect on what the overflow of divine abundance looks like in your life. How can you use the blessings God has given you to bless others? How can you be a vessel of God's abundance in your relationships, your career, your community, and beyond? The overflow of abundance is meant to be shared. It is meant to reach those around you, to touch lives, and to make a difference in the world. When you live in this abundance, you realize that there is no lack. The more you share, the more you are given, because God's provision is limitless. He will always provide more than enough for you, enough for your family, and enough to share with others. As you walk in this overflow, know this truth. You are walking in alignment with God's divine purpose for your life. He has called you to live in abundance, to manifest His provision, and to be a blessing to the world around you. This is your inheritance, a life of abundance, overflowing with God's goodness and overflowing with His love. Now take a moment to reflect, chosen one. Where are you experiencing overflow in your life? Where can you be a greater channel of blessing to others? How can you live in the fullness of what God has already provided and share that abundance with the world? Feel the peace and joy of living in the overflow. You are not living in scarcity, you are living in abundance. And as you walk forward, you will see God's provision multiply in your life, filling every empty space with His love, grace, and abundance. This is the life you were meant to live, a life of divine overflow, where you trust in God's provision and share that abundance freely with others.